you are an expert in economics, and especially from that part of the world where a lot of startups starts. But I want to ask you before of that, when there is a war, one of the things that gets worse is the economy. But after 2 years, it seems like in Israel didn't happen that. What is happening now in Israel with the economy?
So there's a real anomaly in Israel. So there's a lot of the cost of the war, both from a dollar perspective and society, was very, very significant. On the other side, if you look at some of the macroeconomic indicators of the stock market in Israel and the dollar exchange, you see that investors actually are very optimistic on the Israeli economy. So we're coming through challenging times, but with very optimistic prospects moving forward.
One of the things that is more important in Israel, we talk about startups, it's technology, medicine. How do you see the future with these companies? Which companies do you think are going to be the most reliability for the people? In what do we have to invest? You are investing so much.
So first, we talked about the economy. If there's one sector that is able to push the economy forward, it's the technology sector.
Yes.
It's 57% of our exports, it's 36% of our income tax. So it has a very significant impact. Within the tech sector, we see some very promising areas. So cyber was very successful in Israel.
It has been all the time.
For a long time.
Yes.
AI, which is not a sector, it's more wide, but there's a lot of activity there. Life science is very successful. And I think the new kid on the block, which is getting to be it's defense tech. So,
all right.
We have not asked for this war, but the 2 years, the sandbox that we had of experimenting with technology and defense was very beneficial, and there's huge and very interesting technology that is coming around homeland security and defense these days in Israel.
You talk about these 4 areas that are important, but I want to know, if I want to invest with you or with any company, how to know which one is the good one, or do I have to have a big portfolio? How to do it? Because, there are many opportunities, and every time it comes another company and says, this is the best. We are going to invest to change the world. If I could have the opportunity to invest in ways, it would be incredible, but...
So one of the things that we offer to people outside of Israel is access to the tech, the startup nation, to the technology ecosystem. It's very hard to put a bet on a single company. Often coming and getting exposure to Israel tech through a fund makes more sense, because a fund builds a portfolio. We made 24 investments out of 1,000 companies that applied. So we're looking very systematically of who are the companies, and it hedges your bet. So instead of putting all your coins on a single company, you're building a portfolio.
In Mexico, we say you don't put all the eggs in a basket.
Exactly. So we built you a basket, and you could put different eggs in that basket.
Tell me something. For now, young people, they want to invest, they want to create companies, they want to have money, but they want to start something fast and big, and I don't know. In 1 year, 2 years, everyone wants to be a millionaire like that. Is that possible? It could be. Or what do you recommend for these young people who start in something, who wants to invest or to want to start a company, or they want to find the golden egg, like they say?
So first, I think entrepreneurship is very rewarding, but it's also a challenging path. There's a lot of ups and downs. It's never easy. I've built several companies. Some of them exited, and it never was straightforward. We do see trends now that AI brings, that you can build companies with less people, less resources, less funding, and we see some examples of single founders that are building a company that is being exited. So there are these opportunities, but in many cases it takes time. You need to have the right team in place. You need to find a real problem in a big market. And it usually takes time until you build this. But patience is good, and I know sometimes young people lack it, but eventually...
It's complicated for them.
Yes.
Give me 1 second, just let me check how we are going here. Perfect. Tell me something. You have many companies that you invest, and you saw, I don't know, hundreds and thousands. Which of these companies do you think they are different, or what makes them different, or what are we going to see in some years that we say, oh, I hear about this company and I had the opportunity, or what do you think about this company? What is different?
So first, one of the key factors in selecting a company is who's the founding team.
Yes.
You need to find good people, talented, experienced and resilient people, and that is very, very important once we select a company. Then there's the different tech sectors, and you need to find the right trends. You need to find companies that have intellectual property that can fend versus competition. You need to find companies that you will find the next investors that will continue to invest, so you won't be stuck with a company that nobody funds it as you move forward. And there are some trends that we discussed before that are providing very good prospects to some of these companies.
You have a fund with 24 companies different, but they have something different because it's called Iron. It started with after October 7. Why? Why to start? Why was this different from all the other funds that we find around the world?
So, first, there was a real challenge in Israel following October 7th with funding, with many financial money pulling out. Iron Nation started as a pro bono effort. So we brought almost the entire industry behind this initiative, volunteering to work together. And one of the unique things that Iron Nation has, that we have supporters of Israel that fund us, and that allowed us to be one of the most active investors in Israel in 24, because our investor told us to double down. Well, some other funds, it was more challenging for them to invest during a wartime in Israel. So having a fund that has investor base that is supporting of Israel, that works as an ecosystem fund with other players side by side, not competing, but actually working together and connecting supporters of Israel all around the world behind the technology makes a lot of sense.
And we're here because we work with the Camera of Mexico-Israel, Commerce and Industry, and with the Sephardic Zionist organization. But tell me, which of the 24 companies that you show us, or every more, which one surprised you more, or what is going to surprise us in the next years with these companies? Tell us a little bit about some of them. I know you want to talk about the 24, but we don't have so much time. But tell us 2-3 times the things that we'll say, really? Is that? Because we know about Rambam and what they did just now with some clones and some inventions. But tell us a little bit.
So, you know, as a parent, you love all your children. It's always hard to select, but I'll give you some examples, and then I want to tell you an anecdote.
All right.
So, you mentioned Precise Bio, that is a company that developed artificial corneas from human cells,
yes.
And they just did in Rambam their first in human. This is their first product. Soon they will have a retina, and in the future they have a vision to have a kidney or a liver that they print out of human cells. And that is really a moonshot, and
that's incredible. Yes. You can have an article of that in the Judía, but it's incredible. You can have you with that you will get some time to the supermarket and say, what do you need? I was in a party yesterday. I need a new kidney. I was there. I need a new. No?
It's like you go with your car to the garage and you have spare parts.
Yes, exactly.
We'll have spare parts for human being. We have another very interesting company that is called Greeneye. They do precision herbicide spraying. So instead of spraying the entire field with chemicals, they put cameras with AI, and they spray only the weed, which provides enormous saving for the farmer, but also you don't contaminate the ground with chemicals. Right. And this company grew significantly these days, and they're expanding to Latin America and to Australia. We have another company that does unmanned traffic management of drones, both for civil, for ports, for soccer stadiums.
That is going to be used, I'm sure, or it's going to be very important for next World Cup that is going to happen in Mexico, Canada, and United States, because you know everybody wants to fly their drone over and have the essence. So that's going to be very interesting.
So that's going to be very, very interesting there. And the drone, the airspace, the lower airspace is getting more and more complex and more challenging.
Yes.
So that's an amazing solution. And I'll tell you one more news. I cannot share all the details, but one of the companies that we were not thinking is going to be the most promising just got an LOI from one of the leading companies in the US to be acquired. So sometimes even as an investor, you are a bit surprised with your own children, with your own companies.
You didn't believe that child was going to be.
We thought it wasn't the top quartile of our companies, and suddenly it really made it. So
you were going to tell, that was the anecdote, or you are going to tell us a little bit about that.
At this point, I cannot mention because I'm under NDA, but come to me in 3 weeks and I'll give you an exclusive.
All right, I will be in touch with that. And just to finish, it's important to say that these companies are Israeli, because it's a plus, and sometimes it was a plus. If it is Israeli, security, it's a plus, medicine, it's a plus. It's a plus, you have to hire it, what is happening now with Israeli companies? Do we still have to say they are proud of what they are doing? And if somebody sees it, it says Israeli, it's a plus.
So I think Israeli technology for years has been proven its value. I think Israeli founders are very strong founders, and venture capitals from all over the world understand the strength of the Israel tech sector. And we are here this week in Ira Nation to try to connect the Mexican, Jewish, and non-Jewish community to the Israeli tech sector, and hopefully bring them.
It's an opportunity for everybody, not only for Jews. It's an opportunity.
Definitely.
Like I told you, if somebody could come and say to me, "You want to invest? We're developing an app that is going to help you go to one place to another in the traffic, even in Mexico, always," I could be invested, and nobody will believe it. So, and that's just one. It's another one.
So there's amazing opportunities, and we see new one every day in different areas and different sectors. And it's a great time to support Israel, and it's a great time to do a lot of money through the Israeli tech sector.
Thank you very much. Nice to have you in Mexico. We will be in touch, and in 3 weeks you have to tell me about it.
I will. Thank you very much. Thanks, exactly.